What is going on there, everyone? Well, sorry for the background and the lighting and everything. Everything's all jacked up today. I've been working in here, getting these acoustic panels up on the walls and all that. But that should be hopefully done by the next video. Let's get into today's top story. As last night, I'm sure you all know by now, last night Iran decided to launch some ballistic missiles at some bases in Iraq that we have men stationed at. Well, this is not a freaky thing. No, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen, and I stated in my one of my previous videos. It's a tit for tat situation. They got to lob some missiles. No one was killed, Iraqi or Americans, because we had advance notice that this was going to happen. And yeah, it was just a posturing thing. Something that the Iranian officials and the Ayatollah could say to the people of Iran, "Hey, see, this is what we did. We did something. We attacked the Americans. Blah 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 blah." Yeah. Well, there's a base. The reason why I say this is just a tit for tat and all this, and this is not really an escalation as some in the media are going to try to portray it. It's not really an escalation at all. Like I said, they purposely attacked these two bases. The Iranians were saying because these two bases had something to do with the drone strike on Soleimani. I don't know if that's true. From all the indications that I'm getting, that may not be exactly true. But there was another base that's very close to Iran that they could have attacked that had a lot of people, Americans and Iraqi forces there. That was right outside of Iran. Well, it's not right outside of Iran, but much closer. It could have been a more devastating attack if they so choose to have done so, but they didn't. Because, like I said, this is a tit for tat. This is political posturing. It's nonsense. This is exactly what I expected. Iran doesn't want to mess with us no more than we really want to mess with Iran. Because, the Middle East it's a quagmire. We're stuck in there. Everyone knows that. There's no real reason for us to be there anymore, but I digress. Let's get into the story. Iran's supreme leader calls missile strike at bases a slap in the face of the U.S., warns it's not enough. I think they believe it is enough, or they would have continued to do something else. Like I said, they don't want to poke the hornet's nest but so much, and likewise, we probably shouldn't be poking but so much either. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, I think that's how you say it, right? Said Wednesday that ballistic missile attacks targeting U.S. military and coalition forces in Iraq Wednesday morning were a slap in the face to the United States. Khamenei said U.S. should leave the region, adding military action like this is not sufficient. What is important is ending the corrupting presence of America in the region, Reuters reported. And to some extent, I'll agree with the whole U.S. should leave the region. For the most part, yes, I agree. We have no real reason to be in the Middle East anymore. I understand we want to be there pretty much to help Israel, and to a lot lesser extent Saudi Arabia, which I don't know why we do any work with Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Don't get me started on Saudi Arabia. They're snakes in the grass. But, yeah, the Middle East, we have no reason to be there anymore. It was mainly about oil and nothing else, the reasons why we were there. And, yeah, we have enough oil here. We're producing enough of our own energy. We don't need the Middle East's energy anymore. We really just don't. But you know how that goes. Iran fired as many as 15 ballistic missiles into Iraq Wednesday, officials said, in a major retaliation by the rogue regime after a U.S. drone strike that killed Iran's Quds Force General Qasem Soleimani last week. 10 missiles hit uh, I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, so I'm just going to butcher it. In Al Assad Air Base, one missile hit a military base in Erbil, and 4 missiles failed to hit their targets, according to the U.S. military spokesperson for Central Command, responsible for American forces in the Middle East. The attack unfolded in 2 waves about an hour apart. Initial assessments showed no U.S. casualties, which seems to be the actual consensus. A U.S. military official in Baghdad told Fox News. Iranian state television later claimed without evidence, you love the media's use of that, that the strikes killed at least 80 terrorist U.S. soldiers. Well, whatever makes y'all happy, Iran. If you just want to lie to your people and say that, go ahead. You know, there's nothing new about governments lying to their people to make their people feel better. So, yeah, go ahead and tell them that you killed Americans because, we know you didn't. So that's all that really matters is we know you didn't. And damaged helicopters and drones at the airbase. Which, we don't know. I don't know about that because, as far as we know right now, it's just the president just came on in his news conference and said that there were no Iraqi casualties, no American casualties, and the damage was limited to a very minimal damage, which is a good thing. President Trump tweeted a response late Tuesday evening. All is well. Missiles launched from Iran at 2 military bases located in Iraq. Assessments of casualties and damages taking place now. So far, so good. We have the most powerful and well-equipped military anywhere in the world by far. I will be making a statement tomorrow morning, which he has. The White House previously said... The president previously said he would not make an address to the nation Tuesday. White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grissom said right after the attack, "We are aware of the reports of the attacks on U.S. facilities in Iraq. The president has been briefed and is monitoring the situation closely and consulting with his national security team. It was not immediately clear how the U.S. may respond." I don't think we're going to have any actual response to this situation because, you know, as long as we don't respond, which we shouldn't at all because there was no loss of life, which is the most important thing. You know, there's no loss of life. So I don't think we're going to respond. We shouldn't respond. And everything will probably go back to the way it was, where it's just, I don't like you, you don't like us, type deal. I mean, let's take into account that even the killing of Soleimani wasn't just a random off thing that, hey, we just decided to do this. No, Iran led us to that. And for those who don't know, the real main reasons why we did the strike on Soleimani is because about a week ago in Kenya, I know that's a big jump, but yes, this all ties together. In Kenya, there was an attack at an outpost there, an American outpost there, and a bunch of Christians and all kinds of stuff were attacked. And it was an Iranian-linked terror organization that took credit for it, in which I believe it was 2 American soldiers were possibly killed, or it was 1 American soldier and 2 contractors, I believe. I could be getting those numbers backwards. It could have been 1 contractor and 2 soldiers, or 2 contractors and 1 soldier. Not sure. But that happened, and that was one of the main reasons for us striking Soleimani. But regardless of why it happened, Soleimani really wasn't that good of a guy, and he was on the terror list since, like I said, I'm also getting conflicting reports on this, since either 2005 or 2009. Regardless, he was on the terror watch list and all that. So, we took out someone who was a terrorist. The Pentagon added, in recent days and in response to Iranian threats and actions, the Department of Defense has taken all appropriate measures to safeguard our personnel and partners. These bases have been on high alert due to the indications that the Iranian regime planned to attack our forces and interest in the region. As we evaluate the situation and our response, we will take all necessary measures to protect and defend the U.S. personnel, partners, and allies in the region. Meantime, Iran state TV claimed Tehran launched tens of surface-to-surface missiles at the Ain al-Assad Air Base. State TV described it as Tehran's revenge operation over the killing of Soleimani. Iran's Revolutionary Guard then warned the U.S. and its regional allies against retaliating over the missile attacks in Iraq. Like I said, I don't think we're going to retaliate because, all in all, nothing really happened. So, not that big of a deal, thank goodness, because the last thing we need is to continue to escalate things with Iran. I'm not worried about Iran at all. I think just in air power, we could level all of their government facilities, this, that, and the other, within a 24-hour period. But they have some pretty powerful allies that we don't necessarily need to be poking around with Russia and China. We already have our issues with them, so, let's just let this calm down. That's my personal opinion. But I'm not a neocon, I'm not a war hawk. Never have, I can't say never have been, because when I was more of a liberal back when I was young, I didn't care about war. I kind of liked it. And then I saw the error of my ways. The Guard issued the warning via a statement carried out by Iran's state-run IRNA news agency. We are warning all American allies who gave their bases to its terrorist army that any territory that is the starting point of aggressive acts against Iran will be targeted. The Guard, in a warning, also threatened Israel. Which, why not? Of course. Everyone's always going after Israel. It goes on. The story just keeps going on to elaborate what led up to this and all that, which we pretty much basically know already. So I'm not going to continue to go on to there. But yeah, as it stands, with all these people on social media, this, that, and the other. Oh, World War III, this, that, the draft. Come on, people. Why does everyone jump to such extremes all the time? Do you think our military and the advisors and whatnot want a draft? Have you seen our youth nowadays? I mean, can you imagine, Generation Zers getting drafted, and then every time they shoot at someone, they break out into a Fortnite dance or something? Come on. We don't want them going to war. And, we don't have to worry about that. World War III is not going to happen anytime soon. And you got to remember, people that always jump to the World War III conclusion, world wars are fought by multitudes of nations. This was between America and Iran. That wouldn't constitute as a world war. Just wouldn't. So everyone calm down. That's the best advice I can give to everybody about this. Calm down, because what always happens is probably most likely 99% chance of happening here, in which the tit for tat happened, and now everybody is going to calm their rhetoric down for a little while. I mean, they're for the short time, maybe another couple days or something, there will be talk about Iran, blah, 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 blah. But it's going to fade. It's going to fade like it always does. It's just nonsense. It's just political posturing, like geopolitical posturing. That's all this is. So, everyone, relax. I think we're seeing this slowly fizzle out. And hopefully I'm not proven wrong on this one. But, hey, we're all wrong all the time about something, so who cares? But, like I said, I really don't see anything else happening as long as, this simmers down, which I think it will. Iran has done their retaliatory attack, They feel good. They've got to lie to their people and say they killed some American infidels. So they're kind of feeling happy in their country right now. We know they didn't cause that much damage at all. So we're feeling good about that. So there you go. And a little bit of a, you can take it as a little bit of a problem solved for the short term. We'll see what happens in the long term, but I really truly don't think anything else is going to come of it. But we'll see. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. As always, I'd love to hear your comments, and like, share, and subscribe. I will catch y'all on the flip side.